Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today, we're going to be going over zombies from the underworld. But before we get into the video, I do regular biblical videos on Mondays, and every Thursday is Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible series that I do. And then also I do a Warhammer 40,000 bolt gun comedy series as well, so if you want to check that out. Kind of in the veins of Reverse. Also, a commenter commented on the like and subscribe stuff, and she had a really good point. And she said that she forgets to like. She says a lot of people forget to like the video, even though they liked it and what they were seeing, they just forgot. So I'm just going to say it like this. If I've earned a like and subscription from you, please consider doing so. All right. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to start with Job 26:5 and 6. Dead things are formed from under the waters, and the inhabitants thereof. So, dead things are being formed, or you can say reanimated, right? As we know, the flood happened, right, and got rid of the giants. You're going to see these giants called the Rephaim, which Rapha means to heal, to invigorate. So, anyways, we'll get into that. Now, so dead things are formed from under the waters, and the inhabitants thereof. Okay, right here. Job 38:8. Or who shut up the sea with doors, when it brake forth, as if it had issued out of the womb. I wonder why God did that. Interesting. Anyways, so we can go back to verse 6 here. Hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. Well, if you guys know or been on this channel from any length of time, you will know who these two entities are. And they're actually mentioned in the same verse together in Ezekiel, but we'll get to that. So just keep this, hell is naked before him, right? And destruction hath no covering. Keep that in mind, because it comes to play with these reanimated stuff and all that, right? Now we're going to go a little off kilter here. We're going to talk about, instead of reanimation, here's a plague that God sends during the end times. Check this out. Tell me if this sounds like a zombie apocalypse to you. Zechariah 14:12-13. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. Ready? And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them. What is a tumult? A disorderly agitation or milling about of a crowd, usually with uproar and confusion of voices. That's interesting. By the way, this is King James Version. Yesterday, KingJamesBible.org wasn't working, so I just used this, but it started working after this, so that's why. It's still the King James Bible. Just want to let you guys know that. But anyways, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor. Ready? Pay attention to this. And his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. Doesn't that sound like a zombie apocalypse? Now, I'm going to do more research on this. And if it gets watered, I'm going to do a full video on this. So, keep a lookout on that. Yeah. And here goes with that as well. Revelation 9:6. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even think about the zombie stuff when it came to this as well. I think it's like a multifaceted thing, right? But anyways, interesting. So these are, tumult, and then here's the Hebrew, the mihuma, which means tumult, confusion, disquieted, discomfiture. So we're going to get into why I don't pay attention to the second book of Enoch. This is literally necromancy, And they're saying that this is Melchizedek, okay, and that God covered up a scandal. So, first book of Enoch, great book. It's mentioned in the Bible, take straight from the book of Enoch in the Bible in Jude 1:14. But this is complete crap. And I have no problem saying it, right? I'm showing you that I just don't follow any extra biblical book, okay? But anyways, so we're going to start. So this is chapter 71, 2nd Enoch. And we'll start, where is it? So basically, behold, the wife of Ner, name was Sopanim. So Ner and Sopanim, this is about. And right here, so she conceived in her womb, but basically she was barren, okay, and of old age. Okay, people knew, okay, right here. And Ner saw her and became very ashamed, and he said to her, what is this that you have done, O wife, and why you disgraced me in front of the face of these people? Now depart from me, and go where you began to disgrace your womb, so that I might not defile my hand on the account of you, and sin in front of the face of the Lord. And Sopanim spoke to Ner, her husband, saying, O my Lord, behold, it is the time of my old age, and the day of my death has arrived. I do not understand how my menopause and the barrenness of my womb have been reversed. Now, she's ashamed of this, right? So this isn't from God, right? So let me show you. So Sopanim, being sterile, never having any time given birth to a child by Ner, she was in her old age, and the day of her death she conceived in her womb, but Ner, priest, had not, coitused with her and touched her from the day that the Lord had appointed him to conduct liturgy in front of the face of the people. And when Sopanim saw her pregnancy, she was ashamed and embarrassed. She hid herself during all the days she gave birth. So something's going on here, okay? Some weird stuff. So, anyways, so we're going to start with here. Oops. In this, it doesn't have numbers or anything like that, so we're just going to have to go with it. But anyways, menopause and the barrenness of my womb have been reversed. So she doesn't, I do not understand how my menopause and barrenness of my womb have been reversed. Now God has done this, right? But yet she's ashamed of this baby. So keep that in mind. Okay, and it came to pass when Ner had spoken to his wife Sopanim, that Sopanim fell down at Ner's feet and died. Ner was extremely distressed, and he said in his heart, could this have happened because of my word? Since my word and thought a person can sin in front of the face of the Lord? Doesn't that sound like a lot of the mainstream church there, doesn't it? But anyways. Now may God have mercy upon me. I know in truth in my heart that my hand was not upon her. And so I say, glory to you, O Lord. Ready? Because no one among mankind knows about this deed which the Lord has done. What? Okay, and Ner hurried, and he shut the door of his house, and he went to Noah, but his brother, and he reported to him everything that happened in connection with his wife, and Noah hurried. He came with Ner, his brother. I don't know if this is Noah in the Bible or a different one, but anyways. Because of the death of Sopanim, they have discussed between themselves how her womb was at the time of giving birth. And Noah said to Ner, don't let yourself be sorrowful, Ner, my brother. Ready? Tell me if this sounds like the Lord to you. For the Lord today has covered up our scandal, and that nobody from the people know this. I wonder which God that is. Could that be Satan? But anyways. Now let us go quickly, and let us bury her secretly, and the Lord will cover up the scandal of our shame. And they placed Sopanim on the bed, and they wrapped her around the black garments, and shut her in the house prepared for burial. Now pay attention to this next part. They dug a grave in secret. Ready? And a child came out from the dead Sopanim. And he sat on the bed at her side. And Noe and Ner came in to bury Sopanim, and they saw the child sitting in beside the dead Sopanim, and wiping his clothing. And Noe and Ner were very terrified with great fear, because the child was fully developed physically, like a 3-year-old, and he spoke with his lips, and he blessed the Lord. Which one? Satan, probably. And Noe Ner looked at him, and behold, the badge of the priesthood was on his chest, and it was glorious in appearance. And Noe and Ner said, Behold, God is renewing the priesthood from blood related to us, just as he pleases. And Noe and Ner hurried, and they washed the child, and they dressed him in the garments of priesthood, and they gave him holy bread and ate it. And they called his name Melchizedek. By the way, this is not Melchizedek, okay? Let's just get that straight. We have God covering up a scandal, and we've got necromancy. Does this agree with the Word of God at all? No, no one doesn't. This is probably the bad Enoch, right? Or about the bad Enoch, which was Cain's son. And actually, and he made a city called, named it after his son. There's a city in Mexico. Hold on. Check this out. It's called Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan, also known as Mexico, Tenochtitlan was a large in Mexico Altepetl in what is now the historic center of Mexico City. So that is it. And look what we have here. We got the little serpent and the phoenix. Isn't that interesting? So, this Tenochtitlan may very well have been the city of Enoch, right? Cain's Enoch, anyways, not the good Enoch. So just a little reference there. Very interesting stuff if you want to check that out. Anyways. Uh-oh. Okay. So, now we're going to get into these reanimated ones, okay? The Rephaim. Deuteronomy 3:11. For only king of Bashan remained of the remnant of the giants. Okay. This word for giants here is Rephaim. Right here. I'll show you. The giants. Right there. Rapha. A giant. From in the sense of invigorating. Reanimating. So giant. Rapha. Rephaim. Okay. And you go to, here, let's go to the root word Rapha. Right here. Let's go Rapha. Strong's Concordance. Cure, cause to heal, physician, repair, thoroughly make whole, or Rapha, a primitive root, properly to mend, to cure, heal, repair. You guys get it. Interesting. So these Rephaim and this Og of Bashan here, right? Come on. Is a reanimated giant. Okay. Behold, his bedstead was the bedstead of iron. Is it not in Rabath of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits, what's the length, or was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, after the cubit of a man. All right. Here's some more Rephaim. See what I mean? Like the King James Bible or King James Bible Online.org has been kind of messing up lately, so I apologize on that, guys. So, anyways, 2 Samuel 5:18. The Philistines spread themselves in the valley of the Rephaim. So there's a lot of this valley of the Rephaim right here, right? You could say Valley of the Dead, right? So, there you go. Oh, yes. Now we're getting into hell and the destroyer. Yeah. So we'll start verse 3 here. Ezekiel 31:3. Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with bare branches, and with a shadowing shroud, and of a high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. Ready? So we have the Assyrian here. So we're going to see that he's the destroyer here. Ready? Isaiah 10:5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. I will send him against the hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil, take the prey, and and tread them down like mire of the streets. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so. Ready? Here is the identifier. But it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. For he has said, now, ready? Are not my princes altogether kings? Huh. So this guy is a top guy. He is second in command with Satan. Okay. So let's go back to this verse here, right? Dead things are formed from under the waters, and the inhabitants thereof. So these two are connected to these dead, these reanimated ones, and all that. We're going to see here in a second. So hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. And like I said, they're mentioned in the same chapter here, or same verses and stuff. So we got the Assyrian right here, the destroyer, and verse 4. The waters made him great. So it's reinvigorating him, right? The deep set him on high with her. It's a her. This is an entity here. Rivers running around his plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Therefore his height was exalted. He's getting power from this above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of the waters. Is this where like the fountain of the youth and stuff comes from, right? We have that. Now we're going to go a little bit further into this. So the god is hell. Isn't that interesting? So let's go back. Hell is naked before him. Huh. Ready? Hell, originally the name of the world of the dead. It later came to mean the goddess of death. Hell was one of the children of the trickster god Loki, and her kingdom was said to lie downward and northward. It was called Nephelheim, or the world of darkness. Isn't that interesting? We've been talking about darkness a lot, right? All right, let's go Nephelheim. Let's go to her abode, right? The cold, dark, misty world of the dead. There's the dead, ruled by the goddess Hel. In some accounts, it was the last of the 9 worlds, a place into which evil men passed after reaching the region of death, Hell. Situated below one of the roots of the world tree, Yggdrasil, I think that's how you say it, Nephelheim contained a well, Verglimmer. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with Norse. Okay, I apologize. But from which many rivers flowed. Now you guys are starting to see what's going on here. Right? Hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. Let's go a little bit further. See if I can find it. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Stop it. Sorry about that. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, in a place which evil men passed, situated. Okay, many rivers flowed. And Norse creation story, Niflheim was the misty region north of the void in which the world was created. This is interesting here. Ready? Is this the void? Matthew 25:30. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So I just threw that one in there. Anyways, I'm trying to find. Here we go. Genesis 1:2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Okay. Nope. Where is it? Right here. Now we're going to see who this deep character is, and then I'll show you the darkness on her face. Okay. So this is first book of Enoch. So this is the good Enoch here, chapter 60. I'm going to start with this 7 here. It's all out of place. This is kind of fragmented a little bit, and the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff. But anyways, and on that day were 2 monsters parted, a female monster named Leviathan, to dwell in the abysses of the ocean over the fountains of the waters. This is Tiamat, Hela or Hell, Gaia and stuff like that, right? This is who it's talking about. It's a Leviathan, right? Leviathan is mentioned in Job. Behemoth, right? This character, verse 8. But the male is named Behemoth, who occupied with his breast a waste wilderness named Dudain. So there's Leviathan and Behemoth. This Leviathan, or the deep, was put in the oceans and over the fountains of the waters. So I'm not selling you some nonsense here, guys. It's right there. Okay. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. Isn't that interesting? Look at her right, or the left side of her face right there. Right here. Zombified, isn't it? Interesting. And now, here's another depiction. Another one. Isn't that interesting? And darkness was upon the face of the deep. Yeah. So now, if you guys played Skyrim, you know who the Draugr are. So, Draugr, or Draug, is an undead creature from the Scandinavian saga literature and folktales. Commentators extend the term Draugr to the undead in medieval literature, even if it is never explicitly referred to as such in the text, and designated them rather as Hogboy, or Barrow Dweller, or Aptragonga, literally again walker, reanimated one, a Rephaim. But anyways, I digress. Draugr lived in their graves or royal palaces, often guarding treasure buried with them in the burial mound. They are revenants, or ready? Animated corpses with a corporeal body rather than ghosts who possess intangible spiritual bodies. Terminology. Old Norse Draugr is defined as a ghost, spirit, ESP, the dead inhabited of a cairn, or cairn. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, often the Draugr is regarded not so much as a ghost, but a revenant. So, what is a revenant? In folklore, a revenant is a spirit or animated corpse that is believed to have been revived from death to haunt the living. That's interesting. And what's shoot. Right, okay. Anyways, I lost my train of thought now. Part returning. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. The word revenant is derived from the Old French word revenant, meaning returning. Interesting. All right. So we did that one. Oh, yes. Of course. Here's necromancy. We're not supposed to touch it, right? I was supposed to put this right after the second book of Enoch thing there, but anyways, my bad. So there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. So what is a necromancer? Necromancy, communication with the dead, usually in order to obtain insight into the future or to accomplish some otherwise impossible task. So you can consider kind of like a median to be somewhat of a necromancer of some kind. They would be a person with a familiar spirit, right? Supposedly talking to the dead, but they're not. That's the reason why they're called familiar spirits. She's talking to a familiar spirit, right? Who probably knows your grandpa. But anyways, so obtain into the future and test. Such activity was current in ancient times among the Assyrians. Isn't that interesting? Babylonians, Egyptians. Now, this is interesting too. I want to do something. I think I'm going to do another video on the destroyer because he has a very huge connection with Egypt, and Ra is a bird. You know, remember how I was showing you how that this Assyrian could very well be a phoenix, right? Or a seraphim, a burning one, right? Like Satan is. And by the way, seraphim means fiery serpent or burning one, but it's also pertaining to a fiery serpent, which explains Satan more than cherubim. Nowhere in the Bible does cherubim say it's a serpent, right? And nor does the Bible say Satan is a cherubim. It calls him a dragon, the serpent, the old serpent, right? A seraphim. But also it pertains to like these phoenixes because you'll see, where it talks about the cherubim and it says one, and I saw one like a flying eagle. So, anyways, I digress. A golem. Now, there's actual Christians out here who actually think these were good things. They were not. But anyways, golem. In Jewish folklore, an image endowed with life. The term is used in the Bible, Psalms 139 and 16, and in the Talmudic literature to refer to embryonic or incomplete substance. This is why I tell people to get away from the oral Torah. Anyways, to refer to embryonic or incomplete substance. It assumed its present coination in the Middle Ages when many legends arose of wise men who could bring effigies to life by means of a charm or a combination of letters forming a sacred word or one of the names of God. Yeah. I used to be a Hebrew rooter and I was all about that name of God until you realize there's like 10 of these, each one is different from the other. Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh, just all kinds of nonsense. Jesus tells us, that no man knows the name but him. But anyways, so that's kind of what helped me wake up from that nonsense. But anyways, I digress. Now, I definitely learned some good things from the Hebrew roots, but there was also a lot of nonsense. But anyways, so golems are I would say kind of like Kabbalah, mostly in the Kabbalah stuff, but they're also in other religions and stuff as well. Now I'm going to show you, I did a video called Soul Hunters, about these pillows, voodoo dolls and stuff, right? Okay. Now this goes along with the golems and being reanimated and stuff. Ezekiel 13:20. Wherefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against your pillows. These are your voodoo dolls and stuff like that. And by the way, they're all around the world. It's not just in Jamaica. Let's just say there was some nonsense with that. Okay. It's not only in Jamaica. It's all around the world. Okay. Anyways. Wherewith ye there hunt the souls to make them fly. And I will tear them from your arms, and I will let the souls go, even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly. To put in these and to put in voodoo dolls and stuff like that. What they would do with voodoo dolls, they would take a part of your hair or whatever it was, right? And then they would put it kind of in the doll, or they would take a little thing, stick it and all that, and it would kind of store your essence per se or whatever into these dolls. And it sounds like they had some legitimacy to them. I mean, not for God's kingdom, but there's a reason why God's talking about them, right? Saying, I am against your pillows, right? But anyways, and I will tear them from your arms, and I will let the souls go, even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly. This goes with astral projection, right? And of course, astral projection is not a good thing, right? But we need to let people know about this stuff, man. Stop calling them crazy when someone tells you they've astral projected and stuff like that, right? Let's start listening to people, seeing what they have to say, see what the Bible has to say about it, right? Instead of just automatically calling them crazy. But anyways, I digress. What is wrong with you? King James? Anyways, Revelation 13:3. Now we're going to get into the beast. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all of the world wondered after the beast. So, this beast had 7 heads, correct? Okay. Revelation 17:10. So there's 7 heads on this beast, right? Well, there's 7 kings here. Revelation 17:10. And there are 7 kings. These are the heads, right? 5 are fallen. 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. So, this beast, he's of the 7. He has the same authority as these 7 do, right? But he's the 8th. What is this talking about? Well, let's go here. So this is our 1 Enoch, chapter 69. It talks about 5 chief ones here. Right? Here, now I did a video, it's called The 7 Kings of Darkness and the 8th. You'll see why I bring up the 8th on that one. But anyways. So we have 7, right? But it says right here, there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. Okay, so there's 5 mentioned here. Then, this is, and these are the chiefs of their angels in their names. So these are the chief ones, the ones in command. Right there with Satan, right? Now, Satan's the top dog, of course, but anyways. And they're chief ones over hundreds and over 50s and over 10s. The name of first is Jaquan. Now, look who's mentioned at the end here. So this is verse 12. Okay. And the fifth was named Castilla. This is he who showed the children of man all the wicked smitings of the spirits and demons, smitings of the little ones in the old tummy, we'll just say, that it may pass away. And the smitings of the soul and the bites of the serpent. By the way, ladies, it says that the son, how does that go? That in like in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Crazy how that's showing up all of a sudden again. But anyways, I digress. That it pass away, and the bites of the serpent, smitings which befall through the noontide heat. Ready? The son of the serpent named Tabiet. He's mentioned last there. Well, so is he here. He's the eighth, but is of the seven. Okay. Why do I bring that up? Because, wait. Oh, yes. Okay. Revelation 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after that beast. So this eighth guy, right? He was wounded. Right here. Okay. Now, Lucifer is not Satan. I always got to say this. So, Lucifer, son of the morning, how wilt thou fall from heaven? Let's go a few verses down. Right here. Verse 16. So this is still Isaiah 14. Okay. Verse 16. Right after, see, here's the Lucifer stuff. Verse 12, 13, 14, 15. Here's verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms? Not only that, in Hebrew his name is, or the saying is, Hallel ben Shahar. Shahar is a Canaanite god. I don't think Satan is the son of a Canaanite god. He is the god, right, of the dark side. Okay, so this, in my opinion, is the beast of Revelation, this Lucifer character. And in my opinion, he is Poseidon. Because you'll see here, right here, verse 4. How hath the oppressor ceased? So he ceased. There's the key right there. The golden city ceased, right? It was taken away. It was flooded, right? The Bible even says that he flooded it, by the way. But you can check out my Rise of Atlantis and all those videos if you want. Okay. Right here. Okay. Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. All right. Revelation 17:8. The beast that thou sawest was, so he was before John's day here, and is not. So he's not in John's day. Check this out. And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. So we have here, he's going into the pit. Now, he doesn't necessarily full on die here. Whatever. Right. So he goes into the sides of the pit. So he shall be brought down to the sides of the pit. Right. Verse 19. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. That's interesting. And as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of a pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial. Because thou hast destroyed thy land, and slayed thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Well, now he's coming up out of the bottomless pit here, right? And they that dwell in the earth shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, is not, and yet is. Alrighty. So we have some, let's say, because you hear about this dying and resurrecting sun god, right? This has a lot to do with this reanimation and stuff like that, right? Invigorating the giants, right? Like the Rephaim. It's kind of the same thing here. Probably some necromancy that the false prophet does to bring this character back into his body per se, or whatever it is, into a person, whatever, right? I don't sit there and say one thing, you know what I mean? I believe he's going to come as himself, but I also don't put it past him that he'll possess a person or possess a clone body or whatever, you know what I mean? But anyways, guys, I just wanted to end with that. You know, the Bible has it all, folks, right? And Jesus is the truth, right? I don't know what to tell you guys. You guys can sit here, call me crazy and stupid for talking about zombies and stuff like that, but there's things right now that literally do this to people. Or not people, but let's say there's a parasite thing that take over ants, right? They connect to their brain or whatever, and they have these ants do their bidding for them or whatever. They're called zombie ants or something like that. But it's interesting, right? And it will go with the plague thing, right, that I brought up here. So what's going on there? And then, of course, you got the... Did I even bring that up? No, I didn't. But you got the one, where he says, I am legion, but we are many. This hive mind stuff. Becoming one. But anyways, guys, I'm rambling on here. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.